Welcome back, everyone. This is our third ABA training, and today we're going to talk about the main essentials. We're going to talk about some fun techniques for effective communications in your EI sessions. My name is Shan Shan. Most of you know me already, so let's get started. All right, so let's review what is antecedent or proactive intervention, because that was one of our topic in the last training, and I always like to review a little bit of the last training as a refresher for our new training. Does anyone want to share what is a intervention, antecedent intervention? Anyone want to try? Nope, that's okay. So antecedent intervention is a behavior strategy to prevent or reduce a target behavior before it occurred. Just like how it looks like, right? Proactive, to prevent. So FCT, functional communication training, is actually one of the antecedent or proactive intervention that we can use in our sessions. So the benefit of doing FCT or MAN training is that for us to teach replacement behavior for students or individuals who often engage in disruptive behaviors. Oh, sorry, I hear some noises. Make sure that you're mute. All right. So 90% of the students engage in problem behavior, in my experience, because they cannot express properly what they want or what they need, right? That's why they use crying, grabbing, pushing, screaming, hitting to get what they want, or to tell you that I don't want it. They just don't have a proper way to say it. But if we can improve their functional communication, that's our ultimate goal in session. If we can increase the functional behavior, what's going to happen? The problem behavior is going to decrease. So that's always going to be a goal, to increase functional communication. And that's why we have a training called FCT. It is also important for you to keep in mind that if a student cannot tell you what he or she wants, it's going to be very hard for him to engage in more communication activities, such as answering WH questions, describing an event, or answering open-ended questions. Those skills are in a higher hierarchy. So if we don't have MAN, if a student doesn't know how to make a request, we can't even have them to communicate in those more complex questions. So if a student have 1,000 words, if he cannot use them functionally, we still don't consider that it's a proper communication. So language is one thing. Having that 1,000 word, meaning that he has that word in his language. But communication is another thing. So communication is a social activity. So MAN, right, requesting, is actually a social activity. It's that connection and engagement between a speaker or a listener. Right now, we're having that social engagement, right? I'm the speaker, you are a listener. But very often you might observe students just can label A, B, C, D, or count from 1 to 100, but you guys are not having the conversations. So that's not functional communication. And our goal is to help a student to communicate. And MAN actually is the first verbal component of verbal behaviors a child can acquire. All right, so to maximize the benefit of the workshop, I want you to take out a piece of paper again, like we did last time, and write down 3, 2, 1. So I want you to write down 3 things that I learned today, 2 strategies that I will use, and 1 question I have. And at the end of the workshop, maybe we can share with each other, because I feel like the audience can benefit the most from their peers, from you. So probably we can do that at the end of the workshop. All right, does anyone need more time to write down their 3, 2, 1? Raise your hand or let me know if you need more time. Okay, we're good. Give me a thumbs up if you're good.
Baby.
All right, I still hear someone talking. Let me check. Make sure that you mute unless you have a question to ask. Okay, let me just double check, okay? All right, I have a lot of thumbs up. That's great. All right. All right, so today's workshop is gonna go over 3 topics. So the first one is to learn procedures and techniques to teach men. The second one is to decrease prompt dependency for our children. The third one is to record men data. So this is B.F. Skinner, and he's the guy who created those ABA terms that looked a little bit weird and awkward. So there is echoic, listener responding, motor imitation, man, tag, intraverbal, and visual perception. Most of them are just basically communication terms. So echoic, just repeating. You repeat, someone repeat what you say. Listener responding, it just receptive language, your comprehension. Motor imitation, imitating actions. Man, requesting, that's our topic today. Tag is labeling. Intraverbal, it's more like you having a conversation, you answering questions. Visual perception is matching picture to picture or matching item to item. And those are all verbal operants or verbal behaviors. So, well, today we're going to talk about man because man is something that I really worked with my student majority of the time. I would say that 80% of my sessions are working on man because man is just very important. Man has been said to be the first type of verbal behavior acquired by children. So I'm going to give you an example. So most of us who have a baby or have a child, their first word are usually baba or mama, right? At the beginning, at 8 months, they start babbling. They say right? And we're engaging them. We say the same thing. We say, oh, mama. I would say like mama, and my husband would say like baba. And eventually, one day when he say mama, I said, and I hugged him, I kissed him. And that's how he learned, oh, if I say the word mama, mommy will pick me up, mommy will give me a kiss. So that's how he learned to make requests. If I say mama, right, mama's gonna give me a hug. That's what I want. So from then on, he will say mama just for us to interact with him. That's his first verbal behavior. He learned to make requests. And the kids don't just the kids don't just say mama because, oh, that person looks like mama. I label her as mama. Or like, oh, this is my ball. I'm going to label that as a ball. At the very age, what they want is to get their desired items, to get control of the environment. That's why man has been said the first type of the verbal behaviors for children. And as I say, men also help the children to control the environment. Now they learn the magic. If I say milk, mommy run to get him the milk. If I say ball, mommy run and get me the ball. So now they learn that if I say the word, I control the environment. I control my parents. Also, man training makes social interaction more valuable. You record your sessions that your student just ignore you. They might light things up. They might look at their own thing. They might take out and they might take out toys and dump toys and just engage in their repetitive behavior rather than interact with you. That's because these items are more valuable if I can have them and play with them by myself. Why do I need to interact with you? So if through the man training, the student have to get through you to get their valuable item or something they want, that's how you make the social interaction more valuable. Now you're going to use the man training to build that social interaction and increase their value for that child so that they just they don't just focus on the toys, right? If you record your sessions or your first session with the student, right? Their eye contacts are always with the object, not with you, right? Also, by focusing on motivations in mending and developing new reinforcers, that is going to help to reduce the repetitive and repetitive behaviors. Like I say, maybe at the beginning, they focus, they have very limited interest, very small interest repertoires, right? Many of you say, oh, he doesn't like anything. He doesn't like any toys, or he doesn't really like any snack. But through the MAN training, you're going to help them to expand their repertoires, right? If he really like, for example, if a kid really like ice cream, now I'm going to make him to request ice cream, but later on, I'm going to make him request a spoon, right? So he has to use the spoon to eat the ice cream, or I'm going to make him request sprinkles or chocolates or gummy to put on his ice cream. Now you expanding his repertoires. And this is the benefit of MAN training. And actually, MAN training is the only verbal behavior that follows the free turn contingency that will help the student to use their words or alternate communication to get what they want right away. So if you look at our ABC, right? A stands for antecedent. Antecedent is their motivation. I want the item. And the behavior is to say it. And the consequence is you will get it. How easy is that? So you get reinforced right away. Every time if he say it, he gets it, that behavior gets reinforced, and that behavior will increase. All right. So Skinner said it does not matter what form of communication we use. So it can be verbal, it can be PACS. PACS stands for Picture Exchange Communication System. It can be ACC devices. It can be sign language, right? So in your session, or if your child is nonverbal and you want to help him to identify a alternate communication system, I suggest you to collaborate with your speech therapist to really do assessment, do observation, and find out what will be the best for the student, right? Because the speech also need to work on, you know, the expressive and receptive language. But also, if for those who works for Aspiring Munchkins, if you want to learn about PACS, or if you want to see if the student will benefit from PACS, you can feel free to schedule with me individually, because PAC has their phrases. You cannot teach phrase 2 if the child did not master phrase 1. They have their own protocols in error correction. So for those who want to learn more about PACS, then schedule with me individually for individual trainings. For ACC device, most of our EI cases don't need that, because ACC needs a lot of visual motor planning. You have to go into the pages and, you know, click on that page. And then you have to go through another page that needs a lot of skills. So most of EI students won't have ACC devices. All right. And I actually break down MAN training for you step by step. So the first step, that's what I like to do, is to do an assessment first. Right? So we can baseline our student. We know what our student can do or cannot do. So this is an example of VB-MAP, right? You see the word MAN here. That's where you can assess the MAN skills for the student. In the VB-MAP, you have level 1, that's 0 to 18 month children can do. And then you can have, there is 18 to 30 month. And then level 3 is 30 months to 48 months. And also for those who want to learn more about VB-MAP, you can schedule with me too. And also we have a preference assessment, and we talk about it in our first workshop, right? This is a multiple stimulus without placement preference assessment that will help us to identify what is the most preferred item and the least preferred items, right? It gives us that ranking, and we know that what will be a very strong MO, right? What is likely to be successful in our man training. And if you're going to use the least preferred item in the man training, you're probably not going to see much success, right? So that will help us to identify some items that you can use in your man training. What I also like to do is do a very quick and brief assessment. Before I conduct my man training, I can present a few items in front of my student. For example, let's say I want to do some fine motor skill activity, and I will show my student a scissor, a marker, maybe different color markers. And I say, oh, buddy, look, what do you want, right? If my student is looking, approaching, or reaching to one of them, then I know that that's what he wants. If, for say, he's grabbing that marker, I say, oh, marker, you want the marker, right? So marker will be one of my target today in my man training, right? I will write it down my data collection, and that's my target. And I'm going to train him to say marker, or I will train him to say green marker. Okay, that will be a very brief assessment. Okay, and step 2, we want to identify barriers. Our students have barriers, and that's why they get services, right? And men range in different per individuals. So after you do the assessment, basically you can identify the barriers, right? So let's see, some of students are nonverbal. Some of them might be minimally vocal, so they might be able to use vocal approximation. Some of them might say single words. Some of them might use combined words like more, please. Some of them might able to meant for informations such as where's my shoes? Where's mommy, right? That's requesting. They're asking for their mommy, and they're asking for their shoes. Some of them might be able to man to different listeners. Maybe they can ask their peers, they can ask their siblings, right? Those are all things that we want to see if our student can do. And then we're going to select a appropriate form of communications for them. You can't just tell a baby to say, I want milk, right? At the beginning, you have to look at what they can do. If a student is minimally vocal, meaning that the student can say maybe buh, yeah, right? Then I'm going to start with using vocal approximation to make requests. That will be more appropriate, developmentally more appropriate for students. And I know that many of you might have the experience that you collaborate with the speech therapist, and right away they want to teach the student to say, I want blah. And that might be very hard for the student to do because they don't have the concept of I, they don't have a concept of want, and now you want them to say I want blah, right? So we have to look at this whole thing, identify their barriers, and select the appropriate form for them to practice. All right, and step 3, identify goals. So there are 2 goals that I want you to have in your sessions, right? The first one is it has to be meaningful. So we want to make sure whatever we are working on is meaningful. So it's not only to the child, but to the community. So if the community cannot reinforce it, meaning that if the community cannot understand what the child is saying, then this is not an effective form of communication. We want their parents, we want their grandparents, we want their teachers, we want their peer to understand what they want so they can get what they want, and that behavior can be reinforced and can be increased, right? So for example, let's say that, oh, we're going to use more again because that's what we like to work in EI, right? Everybody's like, more, yay, you said more, wow, right? And for example, we did that. We trained the kid to say more. And at evening, grandma's cooking in the kitchen. And now the kid learned to say more, to make requests, and he walked to the kitchen. And he look at grandma and say, this, more. And grandma's like, what do you want more? And now, is it effective communication? No, right? Because he cannot get what he wants. So here the kid cry and scream because he want to watch TV, but he didn't learn the word TV. So for us to have that meaningful goal, we have to identify some of the item that the kid will use in their daily livings, right? For children at this early age, they probably will tell you what they want, and you probably know because it's quite repetitive. It might be TV, it might be iPad, it might be Lego that they want, it might be juice that they want. So let's work on those words that can be more meaningful in their daily communication with their community, rather than teaching them word that's probably not going to be understand or too abstractive for people to understand. The second goal is to have that functional control of MO. That is quite tricky. That means we want the MO to be the MO, right? We want the motivation to be the reason why the kid want to make requests. Not because this thing is in front of him, not because I'm showing you the marker and you say, oh, I want the marker. No, I want the marker because I want to color or I want to draw, right? It's not because I say, what do you want? What do you want? 5 times and you have to give me an answer. No. So we want everything to be spontaneous. We want things to be a pure man, meaning that it's not because of cue, it's not because of prompts, right? That should be our ultimate goals. All right. Does anyone have any questions regarding to any of the content that I mentioned? Okay, no. All right. Or does anyone have a situation that you want to share? Then those examples that I mentioned, or any situation that you came across that you want to share so we can all learn from you? Oh, we good? All right. Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay. All right. So I want you to look at this, the benefits of teaching men specific to the motivation. There are some research-based reasons why teaching specific mans like ball, juice, jump may be preferable over teaching generalized mans like help, more, or please, right? In my experience, the speech therapists, they do like to teach those words, help, more, please, because these are the core vocabularies under their field of science, but we can still collaborate with them. And while there's no need for us to say like, oh, no, thank you, we know what's the best for the student, we're not going to work on those vocabularies that you're working on, that's okay. I don't think those words will hurt the student, but I still want you as the ABA therapist to select the most beneficial goals for our students, because we in the field of ABA, we do use a lot of research base and we constantly updating our research, right? So using mans that's specific to the motivation will be the most beneficial for our student for now. So I do want you to select those target words for the student. All right, so step 4. Step 4 is to set up MO. We kind of talk about MO in our last training, right? MO is one of the antecedent intervention in our sessions, right? So for MO, we have to have a variety of items to keep up that engagement. So you can have a lot of food, snack, you can have a lot of toys, right? If you want that separations of food or snack, remember, do not let the kids have free access during the day. So if you want to work on MMM, that's going to be a target, then he should not have MMM throughout the day, right? If you want to use a specific toys, then he should not use or play with any of those toys before your session. So we can create that separations of the value, right? Also, if you use food, make sure that you can use like small pieces, break down if it's cracker, break it down so you can have more opportunity to learn the words, right? Also, if you use food, you can vary the items, have something salty, have something sweet, because your taste bud likes that, right? A little bit salty and then a little bit sweet. Do not open a big bag of candy or chips in front of the child, because that's going to cause problem behavior. Your child is going to want that whole bag rather than a small piece from you, right? Make sure that you have control of your items. Meaning that you should place them in a container, in a bag, so a student won't be able to grab them and pour them all out, and then you're gonna lose control. That happens to me when I first, start my session, and I got so excited with my bag of toys, and the kids just like open my bag and take everything out and dump everything out. Or if I have a bag of Lego, they just dump the whole thing out. So having like a bag or container that you can control the materials and set that distance and block their easy access to your item, right? So you can have them to contribute the motivation. All right, and here are some strategies actually you can use in your session. Okay, so number one, you model at least 3 times to give that receptive inputs for the student. So for say, let's say if we want to work with bubble, right? If I have the bubble, I'm going to bring out that bubble with my student. I would say, oh, bubble, look, I have bubble. You want to play with the bubble? So now the kid actually hear like 4 times already. So we give that input for the student, right? And then we go to number 2. We're going to give 3 times of freebies, meaning that you're going to give that bubble to him 3 times before you do 1 man. So every 3 times that you give him the freebie, you're going to expect him to request 1 time. Keep that ratio for the child, so he won't be frustrated. If every time you're gonna force him to say bubble and get bubble, you're gonna lose him. Okay, so keep that beautiful distance. So I'm gonna demonstrate. So let's say you hold up the bubble, you say bubble, you blow the bubble, and now you can give that receptive input to the kid. You say, oh, bubble, let's pop the bubble, pop, bubble, get the bubble, right? You play, and then you're going to go to round 2. You're going to give the freebie again. You're going to say bubble. You blow the bubble, you give that input again, bubble, pop the bubble, catch the bubble, yay, right? Make it fun, make it excited. And you're gonna do round 3 one more time. Freebie. You say bubble. Make sure you say it slow, right? You show your student how to say it. You can put the item next to your mouth if you feel like that's gonna help you, right? That's some technique. You say bubble, and you blow, and then you play again. Bubble. Let's get the bubble. Get the bubble, right? And round 4. Now I want the student to say the word. All right. So let's look at strategy number 3. So we're going to use a strategy called echoic to man transfer. So basically, it's just a student repeating what you say as a man, as a request, right? So I will say something like bubble, say bubble. And then if you say it, we reinforce, okay? So that's how you do it, just like I said. So you say, bubble, say bubble. Or if you cannot say bubble, say right? If you say it, then reinforce. Oh, a lot of bubble for him, a lot of bubbles. If he didn't say it, that's okay. Let's go back to round 1. We're going to give him freebies again. Maybe he did not have that input enough for him to produce. Okay, so that's one strategy, echoic to man transfer. Let's say the kid can repeat what you say. Now we're going to use prompt fading. That's a time delay because you want the student to say it independently. That's how I do it. So you hold up the bubble, right? You say bubble. Well, sorry. So let's do the time delay. Let's give him 3 seconds. So you hold up the bubble, you wait 3 or 5 seconds to see if he can respond by himself, right? Within the 3 to 5 seconds, if the child can say it independently, blow a lot of bubble for him. You can blow it 2 times, 3 times, and, reinforce that great man that he had. Or if he did not say it, when you give him the time delay, now we're gonna prompt him. So we hold up the bubble, we say, bubble, say bubble. So he say bubble, right? So I'm gonna give him a little bit bubble. Maybe I blow like 1, 2 small bubble for him, right? So he can want more bubbles. And now I'm gonna do it again. So I'm gonna hold up my bubble, right? I say bubble. I say bubble. So he say bubble, right? I blow 1 bubble for him. I control the bubble. And I'm gonna give him time delay again because I want him to remember what I said so he can, learn to be independent. So wait for him to respond. If he did repeat the word bubble again, then now I've reinforced. All right, so that he gets bubble. Okay. Any questions? Is it clear how to do it? Does anyone want me to repeat that demonstration again? I hope I did it right. All right. Okay. Number 5, differential reinforcer. Differentiate your reinforcers. Like I say, if I prompt him to say the word bubble, if I say bubble, and he say bubble, I put a little teeny bubble for him, right? Don't give him a lot of bubble. But if he said it independently, and now you're gonna reinforce and you're gonna, cheer for him, yeah, blow a lot of bubble, right? So if you can manipulate your response, right? More independent response, a lot of bubble, a lot of reinforcers. If you rely on prompts, right? I give you less reinforcers, right? Less bubble. You may say, oh, good job. I give you like a more neutral tone. If he did not respond, then no bubble, right? That's how you train him. All right, that's the strategies. And I have a video. I did that with my son last night. So hopefully that will give you a demonstration. Yeah, this is the marble run and this is the penguins. Which one do you want? Say marble run. Marble run. Yes, marble run. Oh, you need help? Okay. Let's open. Open. Okay, good. That's how you do it. You can step the block on top, like this. Block. Yeah, block. Okay, sit here next to me. I'm gonna give you. Block. Block. Oh. Oh, and block. Block. There you go. That's a block. That's so high. Put it the other way. This way, like this. Turn it. Yep. Go, you get the block. Okay, you can put it here, Alex. All right, so what you see is at the beginning, I do a very brief assessment, right? I show him 2 items and he said, I want this. So I have to teach him, oh, that's marble run. So that's your brief assessment to see what's the motivation. Once he has the motivation and he really want to play with the item, you see that he approached to me and I have to tell him, okay, sit here and play with me. That's how you block his response to get reinforcers, because I want to control the toys. I don't want him to get my toys constantly and get up, right? That's how you control it. I have to model how to play. So I say, oh, that's how we stack it. That's how you use it. And you model how to use the item to engage the student. Then you hear some, modeling and say block, 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 right? The first time was prompts. So I say, oh yeah, that's a block for you. And the second time when he said it by himself, they say, yeah, that's a block. So basically that's how a man session should look like. All right, and step 5 is training plus collecting data. So I want you to define your prompted, unprompted, and spontaneous man. Well, because these will change as the skill improve. right? So it's constantly changing. What you're working with the kid 1 month ago might look different the next month because kids pick up quite fast in the main training. Also, you have to determine the learner's needs and data collection methods. For me, I want you to work on the main repertoire first. If a kid does not have a solid 50 single words to 100 single words, do not move up to combining phrases, meaning that do not work on apple please, chip please, I want chips, right? Let's have a lot of solid mans to build up that solid foundations before we build up more like a longer utterance in man. And that's a sample of our man data. I will email everyone after the training. So basically, you write down your student's name. That's where you write down your targets. Let's say we're working on blocks. Let's say we're doing that marble run game. We need blocks, right? And we need a ball. And then maybe I have some snack with me. I'm going to write down chips. And if it's prom, then we're going to circle P. If it's ball, we're going to, if it's spontaneous, we can circle S. Prom again. If it's prompted, you circle P. And at the end, you can, tally mark them. So prom, we have 2 prompted response here. So we tally 2. We have 1 spontaneous spontaneous man here. So we're going to tally mark 1. Okay, that's how you're going to record your man data. Alrighty. All right, so this is just a summary. You can picture that. This is how we contributing opportunity for mending. The first one is, right, you control the item to thrive, right? You can't just let it all out and it's gonna, grab whatever he wants. So you have that manipulation and control in the environment and the stimulus, the materials. The second one is interrupting known chain of response. If you know that your student is gonna grab, right, I might just say, hey, give me a high five, right? So he cannot grab, or I will give him a small toy in hand so he cannot grab, right? Sample item, that's just you mothering, right? If you are having chips and I want to work on water, so he's eating some chips and he's thirsty, I might just hold up my water bottle and I drink. And then he wants some water, right? Because he see me drinking. So now I'm going to prompt him to say, oh, you want water? Right? Now you have the opportunity to man for water. The student can have the opportunity. Various items. So you're going to have more things, right? Not just one ball and you think that's going to be successful. You have to have a few items with you in your man training. Incorporate other mans. That's like you incorporate other skills like a listener skill, give me a high five, motor imitation, do this, or oh, let's do drawing, right? Make it more natural, right? We don't want that robotic man training that he knows what's going to happen. I want him doesn't know what's going to happen, but learn it in a natural situation. So that skill's going to generalize. And use a progressive prompt fading methods, the methods that we talk about, echoic to man transfer, time delay. Those are strategies that you can use. So I'm going to show you one more video because I'm not sure if my video is good enough. Let's see. Let me see. Nope. All right, maybe we go back to it later. Let's see. Let's try.
Once that the instructor is using a time delay before providing prompts, using a progressive prompt fading method, and then delivering contingent reinforcement. And I also want to point out that when a response is prompted, differential reinforcement is used. getting the pen? Thanks, Sarah. That was such nice listening. There you go. Water. Nice asking for water. You can have some. There you go. Water. Nice job asking for water. Thank you so much for watching. Keep your eye out for more hacking.
Okay. All right, guys. So that's basically our content of today. I want you to enter your name in the chat box if you want to participate in our raffle game. I picked 2 toys for you. One is a sensory box, like a kinetic sand with construction car. The other one is a Play-Doh game with a chicken. It's funny. Can you please enter your name if you want to participate? And I will do the withdrawal towards the end of the training. All right. Okay. I'm going to give everyone 2 minutes to enter your name. And we're going to do a small activity before I hope we have time. Okay, let's see. All right, I hope we have time. All right. So I'm going to send everyone to a breakout room for maybe 8 minutes because we don't have enough time. So that's an activity that I want you to do in group. So you can pick whatever item I have in this page. Okay. And then you're going to create a man program for your session. So I have a kitchen area, I have Play-Doh, I have bubble, I have snack. You can grab whatever you want and write it down on your paper and create a man program. So you're going to do something like this. You can take a screenshot or picture in your phone. So I want you to identify the purpose of the program, material that you need, any special consideration, flow procedure, meaning that you're doing a baseline, you're doing assessment. And then you're going to write a simple teaching procedure. It can be 2-step, it can be 3-step. Error correction, I wrote it down already for you. And then that's your potential target list, right? You can have preferred items. You can have preferred activities. You can have attentions from specific person, or you can work on requesting for help. All right. Now I'm going to send everyone to a breakout room. Let's see if I know how to do it first. All right. So we have 21 participants. Okay, so I'm going to do 5 rooms. Okay, guys, we're gonna end the breakout room in 1 minute. Wait, did everyone coming back? Okay. All right, everyone's back. All right, I did the withdraw. We have 2 winners. We have Jane Chen and Joyce Low. Wait, Joyce Low, I'm saying right? Joyce and Janie. Contact me for your prize. Okay, I see Joyce give me a thumbs up. And Janie, you're the winner too. All right, contact me individually. All right, so any group actually completed the MAN program?
Yes, we did. We did.
Wanna share? That's great. Alex, can you share?
Yeah, I'm just finishing it up. Okay, so we took food, right? We took food. And then we just imagine whatever food we have. So we're just like thinking about example, candy or chips. First, we meet the kids. We do simple assessment, show 2 snacks in front of the kids and ask them which one do you want. And then after the kids pick the desired snack, you show the snack and then you introduce the snack. And then you will also expose the name of the snack for many times. You can even eat it in front of the kids. And then make sure before you train them for MAN, you give 3 freebies. Right, and then you can teach the word chip and collect data. So if the child is able to imitate the word, have the child man for food, and then with the delay to see if they can, right, and then just go on with the process. And then the special consideration will be if the kids are allergic to snack, and if the kids are having the snack for the day, and always have the parent prepare for the snack. Yeah.
That's good. Anyone else want to share? Okay. Anyone? Nope, that's all right. Anyone want to share their 3, 2, 1? We have only 5 minutes left.
I'm gonna share my 3, 2, 1.
Awesome. Great.
All right. So so the 3 things that I learned. So do not move on to 2-word phrases unless the kids have 50 to 100 solid MAN repertoire. And sorry, hold on. Let me switch to my doc. And then I also learned about Mandela collection. I haven't learned about that yet. And so I learned it today. So I will be using Mandela collection sheets to collect the program data. But then I have one question. When I do the training with you for the VV-MAP, I only got the Excel form, but today you kind of show like a different version of the VV-MAP. Remember the VV-MAP you just show us?
Yep.
Yeah, so I've just wondered, where did you get that? I just wondered.
Well, you can find it online, or you can get a book. You can get the actual VV-MAP, and it's gonna be here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yep. So
Okay.
it looks like this, right? Looks like something like this. So
Okay.
that's the actual VV-MAP. What I send you is like a scoring sheet that you can use for like a digital one.
Okay. Thanks.
Problem. All right. Anyone else have questions?
My 3, 2, 1 as well. 3 things that I learned. It's important to put toys inside bags. I usually just drop the toys inside bags. So the kids, they just like what Shanshan said, they will go to my bag and they grab the toy by themselves. So I lost the control sometimes. So I learned I should put toys inside bags. So try to make them to request which one they want to do a assessment. And then during the MAN, I need to give out freebies because sometimes they have difficulty to produce the words. So freebies is important to make sure they have enough language input before say out loud. And then I have questions. For the packs, do you have is it PDF forms to share with us so we can print it out?
The pack, you mean the phrases, pack phrases?
I saw there's some pictures.
Oh, those pictures. So, well, the other thing about PEC is very tricky. We want to see what kind of picture a child can identify. So there is something, some kids are really like in a lower functioning of comprehending the picture. We use real objects on the PEC book, right? I can put chips and goldfish in a little plastic bag and put it on the PEC book. If he cannot comprehend the picture. Some kids cannot comprehend non-real object, then I will use Toby. Toby meaning that if I want him to learn to ask for a pen, I will picture that pen and then we'll cut it out for him, right? Then you move on to like non-identical picture, and then you move to like more cartoon, right? It really depends on your student's level. So if I give you like a whole bunch of cartoon and you're still not gonna comprehend, that's useless. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, so we start with the environment, the real object first.
It depends, really depend on the student. So you can start with a assessment, right? If I give him different symbol, I want to see which one he can respond quicker, faster. Because having that tool, the goal is for him to communicate with me effectively and quickly, right? If he's gonna take 1 minute and look at that picture, I think that's an iPad, then that's not gonna work, right? So we want to assess and see what will work best for this student, particularly, right? That one picture is not gonna fit all with a student that has disability.
I see. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for your questions and sharing. That's very important, right? Have that instructional control with your materials. Very important. Giving that inputs, because you're not going to ask your students to say it constantly. That's very good. Very good point. Anyone else want to share? We have 1 minute left. All right, make it on time, every time. All right.
Sunshine, I have a question.
Sure.
So my baby girl, she's actually 1 year old right now, and she can do more, right? I teach her how to do the sign language more, and she can do the sign language more, and then she get frustrated. So the next step I should teach her is more, and then point to the object what she wants. Is that what I should do?
She's smart, so you can teach her the nouns, right? More like you can do the sign language with her. You can do like, like water.
Mm-hmm.
If she likes ball, you say ball. If she likes open, you can do open. So work on more nouns or, action words with her.
So model like simple words and then the first sound.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
And then I also have like my student, he's 5, and then he's nonverbal, no eye contact. I can also use the PEC system, like what you did, and then just use I want, and then can I start with a cartoon since he's already 5?
You can try the cartoon first. Don't print out like a whole bunch of pictures and work with him. Just maybe try 4 to 5 items to see if he can really comprehend, right? Let's say you put out a bag of chips in front of him and you have the pack book, you have 3 pictures or 2 pictures. Let's say you put out the chip picture and you put out a cartoon of a car picture, right? And he wants that bag of chips, then you're going to train him to point to it. Right. See if he can grab that picture and give it to you, because the pack is the first thing. The phrase 1 is we're going to train the student to locate the picture and put it in your hand. So we want to see if he has that skill too first, right? The second phrase is he has to pick up the picture and walk through a distance to you, because he has to learn to walk. It's not only table, right? And the phrase 3 is actually helping them to identify a preferred and non-preferred item. So now it's like what I'm telling you, right? That you have a picture of a car and a bag of chips, and he actually won the bag of chips. Can he identify the picture is correlated to the bag of chips, right? And then phrase 4 is to identify 2 preferred items. I like car, I like chips. Can I really make up my mind and identify what I want, right? So yeah, so what my suggestion will be like try a few items to see if he can even have that skill.
Okay, thank you, Shanshan.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? I will take one more question if we have. If not, I will wish everybody a happy holidays. Stay healthy, happy, and safe.
Thank you, Vincent.
All right, thank you so
Thanks so
much.
much. Happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you,
see you
Sang.
next year,
Thanks.
hopefully.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Shan, last
Yes.
question. Can you share the assessment that you mentioned about for the men's? Like, I forgot the name of it.
The man data I can share. The VB map I cannot share based. The VB map I cannot share due to copyright, but the man data sheet I can share. So I'm gonna share the PDF and the video link and the man data sheet. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And if you
Sounds-
want the VB map training, schedule with me individually for those who work for Aspiring Munchkins. Well, if you need any individual trainings, so my next availability will be on January. Yep.
Sang, for the VB map book that you got, is that where can I buy that? Do I just go to Amazon and type in VB map?
You just type in VB map, they have their website. So I
Oh,
think I
okay.
purchased it from their official website.
Okay, thank you.
Books. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
All right, thank you guys. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.